It's not the hammer that builds the table. It's the carpenter wielding the hammer. Hey everyone, my name is Jason Osterkamp from Night Owls Media and For Love Films. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite topic. It's not the hammer that builds the table. Now, unfortunately, this isn't live, and my goal on Filmmaker Fridays is to go live and have an open, unedited conversation about topics that I see a lot of filmmakers having questions about in the forums on Facebook and the like, and I want to help however I can. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble with my streaming software right now as it's still new to me, so I really wanted to still do something so you get the benefit of me not rambling on for 30 minutes, and this is going to be slightly edited. I've been filmmaking for a long time, and one of the things that I love most and I want to do most is I want to help other filmmakers. I love film, I love the art form, I love storytelling, and I love teaching. So if I can impart any kind of knowledge from the information that I have learned over the years, I absolutely want to help with that. A continuous thing I talk about with any other filmmaker is it's not the hammer that builds the table. It's the carpenter wielding the hammer. And what that means is you could have a $10 hammer and make an amazing table. You can make something amazing out of it. You can have a $300 hammer and it's not going to make the table any better. What really matters is the person who's using that tool, who knows how to use that tool, who is going to make that difference. And then once you understand the ins and outs and the whys and hows of behind the artistry, having those tools is just going to help you a little bit on your journey and make it a little bit easier. For example, a really good artist could make a beautiful painting out of some pretty crummy paintbrushes you can go get at Walgreens for $1.99. But having that $100 paintbrush with the fine hairs, this is not my realm of knowledge, but having that really expensive paintbrush is going to allow them to do things exactly what's in their mind a little bit easier than what it was with the $1.99 paintbrush. It's the exact same thing with camera gear. Now, I fall into this all the time, and I need to keep telling myself this over and over, that it's not the hammer that builds the table. Every time a new piece of gear comes out, I read about it, I look into it, I covet everyone who has it on YouTube, and I just want to play with it because I think having that new tool is going to make my films that much better. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. And that's why whenever you look on the forums, people are always say, focus on story first, because story is what's going to trump everything else. Now, something I've said before in my videos is if you have good lighting and good audio, that's gonna set you apart from everyone else. Now, I've seen gold shot on Canon T3Is, and I've seen garbage shot on Reds and Aries. It all depends on who's behind the lens telling that story. And yes, I do fall prey to it like we all do. When the new gear comes out, we want to jump on it. We want it. We want to be better storytellers, and we hope that this one LUT or this one new microphone or this new slider or this new drone is going to make us better. And it's not. It's going to allow you to tell your story more efficiently. Another thing in this aspect is a lot of new filmmakers love to ask, what's your go-to lens for a wedding day? And to me, there is no go-to lens because every wedding is completely different. Every story is different. Yes, we go into a wedding day kind of expecting the similar, for lack of a better word, tropes, things we know are going to happen. There's probably going to be a first dance. There's probably going to be a first kiss at the ceremony. All these key moments that we know, at least in a Western style video, we know are going to happen. There's going to be toasts and things like that. The more weddings you do, the more you'll realize there are similar aspects to every wedding, but no wedding is the same. No couple is the same, and that means no story is the same. Now, I'd like to say that you shouldn't be trying to make a cookie cutter type of style for every wedding, but every filmmaker is different. And there's an audience for every type of filmmaker. That's why there's different price points and different styles out there. Some people have loud, flashy kind of edits. Some people have more subdued, solemn, kind of like quiet, emotional edits. Some people charge $1,500. Some people charge $10K for a wedding. But it all comes down to the audience you're trying to reach. It comes down to the story that you're telling. So back to the point of the lenses, regardless of your project, know what type of lens that you want to use to tell what type of story. Different lenses have different feelings. Like an 85mm lens is one of people's favorite lenses. 85s and 50s are the most common, like, we love these type of lenses because it makes you feel like how you want to look on camera. And they're amazing lenses, but are they needed for the entire story? Maybe, maybe not. Again, it depends on how you want to tell your story. Now, I did a whole video about the lenses that I use on a wedding day, and since I did this video, I have added more lenses to my kit because I want to keep evolving and tell different types of stories. The lens I'm shooting on right now is a Sigma 50mm 1.4 art lens, and I am head over heels in love with this lens, but I will not use this for every story because I don't think every story needs this lens. Some, you need a little bit of an epic feel. So you want to get that 24, you want to get that 16, you want to make the world feel bigger. Or you want to be a little more intimate and you want to get that 85 to push that emotional construct. Now, through these series of videos that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about a lot of theory, not just how to make these videos, because there's 100,000 other videos on YouTube that you can watch for that. But I want to discuss why. Because not every wedding's the same. You're not going to go into every wedding having the exact same scenarios over and over. You're not gonna be able to shoot the cake the exact same way. You're not gonna be able to shoot the best man toast the exact same way every time. What it comes down to is knowing why the audience is going to feel a certain way when you film it a certain way versus another way. And then you can look at the room, you can look at the environment, you can look at the time of day and everything else and go, okay, here's how I want to film this to invoke this emotion in my viewers. And every lens has a different feel. It has a different emotional connection to your audience. Now, if you want to go deeper into that, again, check out that video. I talk a lot about the different kinds of feelings you get from each kind of lens. And that's not what this video is about. This video is about you don't need the newest and best and just all the gear. The more money you spend on gear, the more you're not going to have to pay your shooters, to pay your bills, to grow as a business. And granted, again, this hits everyone. This hits me all the time. Don't kick yourself for not having the best gear. Focus on telling your story. Focus on what makes your couple love each other, on their story, what makes them tick. You can tell their story. I know I kind of went down a rabbit hole with this, but again, it's edited, so you didn't see the other 20 minutes of me talking about nonsense crap. Throughout this series of vlogs, I really want to stress to you that every decision you make as a filmmaker affects how your audience feels. So knowing the whys are going to affect them in different ways. In further videos, I really want to discuss screen theory. Like, most of you probably know what the 180 rule is. For example, if I'm on this side of the screen talking this way, and now granted I'm not cutting away to a different shot, but if I were to cut away to another person, the other person should be looking the opposite way. This keeps your eye line intact. So no matter which way you cut, you'll always understand who's looking at who. And this is very easy to explain. Think of a ceremony. The couple is standing right here, and there's a horizontal line, and then you have cameras right here. You can't break the 180. As soon as one camera goes above this line, you broke the 180, and then you have the different people looking the same direction, and it looks really awkward. So the 180 rule is probably the most basic and most well-known of screen theory. Some other aspects of screen theory are left side of the screen versus right side of the screen. What does it mean when a person is on the left side of the screen versus the right side of the screen? What does it mean when you're hand holding a camera versus a gimbal versus a monopod versus a dolly shot? All of them have different emotional values in your audience, and they evoke different emotions and contextual constructs in your audience. And we're not just gonna talk about film theory, we're gonna talk about a myriad of other things. What I do is I go through all the wedding videographer forums and I take notes. I see the same questions asked over and over. It's because people have questions and they want these answers. Something I just read on one of the wedding videographer forums today was, how do you ask your couple to pay that extra credit card fee? And here's my advice. Again, this might not work for everyone, but it's definitely worked for me. Up your price. Up your price a little bit more, because that's gonna add padding to when people wanna pay with their credit card. Because let me tell you, it's a big turnoff to say, hey, you're paying this gigantic fee for a wedding video that most people don't understand what really goes into it. So even if you're charging very low, they still think it's a lot of money. By adding an extra fee on top of that for credit card fees, it's gonna put a bad taste in their mouth. Now, this is coming from a very personal experience, because I've had my business for 11 years, and for like 6 or 7 of them, I've been charging those credit card fees on top of things, until I just realized that I don't wanna be seen like that by my couples. I just up my price a little bit to make that padding so they can pay with the credit cards. And to me, that's really important, because if I'm going to buy something, I want those points on my credit card. And credit cards are pretty much a fantastic way to get paid, because it's really fast. You don't have to wait around for a check or a PayPal to clear or anything like that. So in my advice, don't charge for your credit cards. Just up your price a little bit, put it into your package, it's already included. Best case scenario is you're already padding your business account, so if a couple doesn't pay with a credit card, at least that money will go to your business and help you grow your business. Guys, I would love to hear your feedback. Like and subscribe so you can always be up to date. We are doing Wedding Wednesdays, where I help answer questions for couples all about their weddings, especially with video, and a couple other vendor friends are gonna be on the show. And if you don't know about our awesome free educational video series for couples out there called Vendors, you can click on it right here, and it's also down in the show notes. Share this with your couples out there. You're gonna look like a badass by giving them free education. I sat down with the leading wedding industry professionals of the Chicagoland area, and I asked them questions that all couples should know going into their wedding day and going into working with different types of vendors. This is absolutely free. Give it to your clients, give it to everyone. But what I really want to know from you is, what do you want to learn from this series? I take your comments very seriously, and I take them to heart. It means a lot to me when you do comment. And really what I want to do is I want to help. So guys, thank you so much for being with me, and I apologize again for this not being live, so you can't live comment while I'm doing this, but look forward to that in the future. And remember, it's not the hammer that builds the table. You are the artist, and it's your vision and your creativity that brings your art together. So today, be better, do something awesome. I'm Jason from Night Owls Media and For Love Films. Thank you for watching.